Hi guys, Candy Toy Box here. Today you will need some green pony beads, scissors, a lighter, a needle, and then you're going to need a few feet of string. And I'm going to start out with this string here. You'll put one green bead on and just let it fall. Then we'll put one on each side. Can let those fall. One that goes through both. One on each side. One that goes through both. One on each side. One that goes through both. And one on each side. Now what I want you to do is hold this string and pull this one. Pull those down and then tie this. We'll cut the small one off. Go ahead and put your needle on. And this is what it should look like. So we have 8 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you have all those beads on, we're going to take the needle and go through this green bead. We're going to add a green and go through this one. Add another green and go through this one. Going to add a green. And this time you're going to go through this bead and this bead. We're going to flip this around and we're going to go up through this one. You're going to add a green and go through this bead here. We're going to add a green and go through this bead. We're going to add another one and go through this one. Flip this around. You're going to add a green and go through this one. You're going to add another one and go through this bead. Add another one and go through this bead. Now we're going to flip this over. And this time we need to go through these 2 beads. Then we're going to go down this bead and then up this one. So we just made a path so we could get back to this bead for the string to go out. We're going to add a green and go through this bead. We're going to add another green and go through this bead. Flip it over. You're going to add a green and go through this one. You're going to add another green and go through this one. We'll flip this around. Just like we did, we need to make another path to get to this bead. So we're going to go through these 2. Down this one and then up this one. Okay, now we need to go down this bead and down this one and down this one. So a total of 3. So we went down these 3 here. Now we're going to go up these 2 and up this one. So we went up these 3. You're going to put on 2 beads. And then you're going to go down this bead. Now we're going to go down this bead here. So we added these 2 beads and then we went down these 2, and now we're going to go up these 2. You're going to add a green and go through this one. You're going to add a green and go through this one. You're going to add a green and go through this one. We'll flip this over. We need to make a path to get to this bead, so we're going to go through these 2 here. Down this one and then up this one. You're going to add a green and go through this one. Add a green and go through this one. Flip it over. We're going to add a green and go through this one. You're going to add another green and go through this bead. Flip it over. We're going to go through these 2. Down this one and then up this one. We're going to add a green and go through this bead. Now you're going to add 2 and go through this bead here. And to make it easier to tie, I'm going to go down this bead and then up these 2. Just because instead of trying to tie in between these beads, it'll be easier to tie on the string that's up here that I can see. So we just went around and up. Now you can tie this. Okay, we can cut this off. And if you want to try to hide those knots, or if you don't care, you can push them down into the bead if they'll go there. Guess that one's going to stay there, but the other one went in. Okay, you're going to need to stop the video and repeat this a few more times. And then I'll come back and then I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, once you have these made up, that little piece, if you have a little piece of string left, you can use that. If not, you can cut some off. But what we're going to do is take the string and go through these beads that are sticking out on all 3. And you want to try to get these to be even. So if you pick them up and hold these ends and then pull them together, you can get this even. And on one of the strings, you're going to put a bead on, let it fall, and then make a knot to make sure that these are all tight. Now you're going to take one piece of string and go back through that bead that we just put on. And then the knot should go inside that bead. Now that you have that on, we're going to add one green on this string. You're going to take this other side and cross it through. And then pull the ends up. So we're adding one on the string, and then you're going to take this one and cross it through. And then you pull it up. Add one, take your string and cross through. You're going to add one, take your string and cross through. Going to add one, take your string and cross through. And I think I'm going to add one more, and that should be good. So for the last one, instead of crossing through, we're just going to drop it. And before we tie it, we want to get this tight. So you're going to pull the string and then pull down on the bead. Once you have that tight, you can tie these two strings together. And stretch it out to get it centered. But there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you next time.